just because a familiar pushback against that is from, I know quite a few people who are Marxists. They'll say, well, they did it in the name of Marx, but actually, if you look at Marx, he would not have. He wouldn't have been a Marxist. That's the Marx wouldn't have been a Marxist, and that Mao and weren't really Marxist. What do you say? What do you say to that kind of pushback? That they were done in the name of Marx, but it wasn't really Marxism. That you can't really put that at the.
Well, I'd say it was absolute nonsense. I'd say, look at Marx. What does he say? Does he not say get rid of the state? Does he not say get rid of private property? He does not say that religion is a delusion? Does he not say get rid of classes? And what does he suggest alternatively? He says we must communalize property. We must have no state organizations. We must have no religious beliefs. He says all that. Well, if he said all that, and then people followed what he said, in what way are they not following what he said? They may, I mean, the feeble sort of counter was, well, they didn't do it very well. You know, they should have thought about the actual practicalities a bit more. You can dilute it, and you can say that, you know, if you'd had someone a bit more, less vicious than Stalin, or a little less self-powerful than Mao or whatever, then it might not have been as bad. But it would have been bad in any because it's based on delusions. And if you base your whole system on delusions, now this isn't to say that we can't do better than we are doing, and that socialism, which is different, which is, you know, trying to ameliorate sort of R.H. Tawney-ish, you know, get dilute class, make more public property, you know, soften the whole iniquitous system by making it really much better. We should always be trying to do that, obviously. But to sweep it all away in one vicious overthrowing of all the rules, and to say, let's start the game again with entirely different rules and with no umpire, no rules, and just let everyone, because as Orwell shows, you know, the big pigs come out on top. And it leads, because human beings are not like, this is the utopian failure of Godwin, as I've talked about before, or Rousseau, or Marx. Human beings are not nice. I mean, they are nice, but they're also nasty. In other words, Adam Smith's view that we are both selfish and social, a balanced view that left to ourselves, we are predators, we are animals. And if you throw a whole lot of animals, if you threw I mean, the Bible is full of ideas that you can let the lion and the lamb lie down together and so on. That's fine as a dream, but if you did, there wouldn't be much lamb left after a while. And humans the same, you know, you get a natural tendency. So novels about, like Lord of the Flies, you know, about what happens to school children if you leave them on an island, they won't necessarily live a very nice, William Golding, a very nice life. And it's the same with civilization. So Marx, I think, is a millenarian. He believed that the second coming, the rebirth, the return to Eden, would solve the world's problems. And he's Jewish, he's an Old Testament prophet, as everyone has pointed out. But you have to treat him very, very, very carefully, because of course he appeals to people. I mean, if you happen to be among the 90% who don't feel the world is just, and you're, you know, Marxism is a very appealing philosophy. And if you don't think through the consequences of destroying everything around you and starting again, then you may think, well, let's pull it all down and start again. But the lessons of history is that the bloody revolutions from the 19th century to the present, which have tried to do that, have been at least as bad as the right-wing revolutions of Hitler. And
what